Hi. Sorry I've been gone for a while, but I mean, I'm here now. I got that video you guys wanted, that one that all 8 of you voted for, so better late than never, right? Well, whatever. You guys got to vote, and you guys picked the one that's the hardest to scale, the hardest to talk about, and the one that's going to make the most people angry, so you don't really get to complain about how long it takes. But to get to what the video is actually about, Manga's Big 3 versus Comics Big 3. Luffy, Naruto, and Ichigo versus Superman, Batman, and Spiderman. So to do this fairly, we will have 3 matches that are most even. Round 1 will be Ichigo versus Superman, Round 2 Batman versus Naruto, and Round 3, the finale, being Luffy versus Spider-Man. Let's get started. Now Round 1 is pretty uneven. Yeah, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Ichigo gets absolutely destroyed. And before I get into scaling, minor bleach spoilers ahead, so if you're not caught up with the manga, skip to the timestamp that might be on the screen. After your watch absorbs the power of the Soul King, aka the creator of the Bleach verse, this gives your watch around universal level, attack potency, power, scaling, yada yada. Ichigo one-shots him. Now, one-shots are consistently considered that the one who one-shotted, this case being Ichigo, would be roughly 5 to 7 times stronger than the one that he one-shot. Oh my god. This would mean that Ichigo is safely low multiversal. Superman's most similar feat comes when he one-shots the Forager, a being similar to that of the Anti-Monitor, who made the infinite DC multiverse. Superman was drained for a significant amount of time before flying through multiple suns, reigniting his strength. Even if we say Superman couldn't one-shot normally and was amped by the suns, it would still imply a close range of power between Forager and Superman. Normally, without the amp, considering the previously stated 5 to 7 times one-shot multiplier. To really break down Superman's strength in more detail, I would have to get into dimensions, and boundless, and scaling on that level, but I don't think it's really that necessary here. And yes, both of their AP would scale to their durability. Ichigo is not going to blitz in one shot just because he is faster and Superman has like moon level durability or something, because this is not the case. But also, in terms of speed, Superman is a million times faster. I've heard faster than light statements and arguments for Ichigo, though more consistently I've seen him put below that. Superman is beyond above that, literally flying through space, breaking the laws of physics casually, and interacting and racing people like the Flash while using top speeds. So yeah, I'm sorry Bleach fans, but it's wraps for Ichigo. Round 1 goes to comics. Round 2, Batman versus Naruto. So this one really isn't close either, and no, I'm not giving Batman his whole arsenal, because that would be too one-sided for the Kid Crusader. Though to start with Bats, he consistently breaks walls and fights characters capable of destroying buildings. But what will really help Bats in this fight isn't his strength, but his speed and his durability. So Bats has taken hits from heavy hitters like a mind-controlled Superman and essentially a nuke straight to the face. This firmly places Bats at city level at max in terms of durability, considering that the Superman feat is more of an outlier than a consistency, while the nuke is, well, above his average, is still somewhat consistent with what his villains can survive and what he himself has been dished. But this would not scale to his AP, since Bats has never thrown an attack on that level consistently, at least without ants or other buffs. As for speed, the Dark Knight can effortlessly dodge bullets, but more impressively, has actually perceived the Flash's movements. Now, while this would not scale to his movement speed, it absolutely scales to his reaction speed. Now, Naruto is interesting. His AP is moon to planetary, depending on what you personally buy. Some say Naruto gets star because of his fight with Kaguya, but as a Naruto fan, I completely disagree. I may debunk star level Naruto in a different video, but for now I'll just say Naruto could defeat Kaguya and had to seal her along with Sasuke. Not to mention, that would be a major outlier for Naruto. In terms of durability, he would scale to his AP. As for speed, he's been faster than light since the Land of Waves arc, which is the first main arc in the series, dodging Haku's mirror attacks, which is described as light speed in guides, along with in KCM, Kurama Chakra Mode 1, dodging the Raikage, and in 6 Paths Sage Mode, dodging Madara's lightspeed Lugi. Naruto is consistently massively faster than Light, since like halfway in Shippuden. So yeah, Naruto in base is having a close fight, since he could potentially one-shot Bats, but Bat's reaction speed would catch Naruto off guard. But Batman can only do so much and can only detect so much. 100 Shadow Clones, all with Tail Beast Bombs charging at him in KCM 1, 2, or 6-Path Sage Mode? Yeah, no. That's completely... it's Jover for Batman. While Batman would hold better than you'd probably think, he would still more likely get smoked by the Knucklehead Ninja of the Hidden Leaf. That's round 2 for Manga. Now the final tiebreaker fight, Luffy versus Spiderman. Starting off with Luffy, he's around planetary. He's had fights that have been up to continental in terms of their effects. And because of the size of One Piece's Earth, that would actually get near moon level. And since then, Luffy has defeated Kaido. And Kaido is considered stronger than the Whitebeard at Marineford, who is stated to be able to destroy the world. Some would say that this would break into, like, star level, but this is hard wank. More consistently, I doubt the validity of the star level statement. From what I've seen from the bulk of the scaling in the verse, multi-continental to large planet seems much more fitting for Luffy. In terms of speed, the future King of the Pirates consistently displays massively faster than Light speed feats, even being faster than Light pretty casually before time skip. In terms of actual AP, Spider-Man is consistently city level plus, with some of his stuff actually even getting to island, but with his scaling, it's pretty consistent that he can get into continental ranges. In terms of speed, Spidey dodges lightning casually and can even tag those with super senses, such as when he blitzed Daredevil. But more impressively, he can consistently dodge light speed lasers. And he's kept up with most of the Avengers, including Thor, Iron Man, Hulk, and blatantly blitzes people on the scale of She-Hulk and Wolverine. Now, all of these guys have light speed metas. This is especially impressive considering Thor and Iron Man who have flown through space, and Thor himself has even kept up with the Silver Surfer. And while you could call this an outlier, it isn't, because it's actually consistent. And I'm not saying Spider-Man is as fast as the Silver Surfer, but I am saying Spider-Man is consistently in higher, massively faster than light ranges than you'd probably think for the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Now this fight is somewhat interesting, since it actually is closer than the other matchups I've talked about today, and has some debate to it, especially since they're somewhat close in terms of AP. While Luffy does have an edge by a decent margin, with his absolute lowest of large continental being a higher meta for Spider-Man's AP, but in terms of speed, on the other hand, Spidey absolutely blitzes the shit out of Luffy. While both are in massively faster than light ranges, Spidey scales to it in significantly higher ranges. Like I said earlier, reacting to people that fly through space consistently. But what about something I haven't talked about yet in this video? Hacks. While bringing up hacks like Luffy's Observation Haki or Future Sight and Spider-Man's Spider Sense is pretty interesting considering they are somewhat similar, they work very differently, and Spider-Man's Spider Sense is actually worse at warning than Future Sight is, but it's much faster. Not to mention, Peter has blitzed people with super senses before, even if said abilities worked different than Luffy's Haki. Luffy's Armament Haki would be able to halt a lot of Spider-Man's offense. He would struggle to get good damage off. Because of his speed edge, it's more likely that Peter gets a hit off on Luffy before he can even activate his Haki. But those hits, while they would definitely hurt Luffy, wouldn't be near enough to actually incapacitate him. So then, who wins? Well, it all comes down to one key factor, that being stamina. If Spider-Man tires out, one good hit will take him out. But if Luffy falls, he will likely pass out. And if not directly pass out, he would still be weak enough for one good maximum spider to take him out. So who has the better stamina overall? Well, in Gear 4 against Doflamingo, Luffy collapsed out of the form, exhausted in mere minutes. Well, Gear 5 isn't much better, with him also collapsing rather quickly. While Peter, on the other hand, has stayed up for several days patrolling and has fought several of his foes all at once and continued on. Which means more likely than not, while a close fight, Spider-Man would be able to outlast Luffy. He would be too fast in general for Luffy to keep up with. With that being stated, that is another round for comics, being a 2-to-1 split with comics winning So the big three of comics wins, and the big three of manga sadly loses. It should be well stated that all of these characters have heavily influenced the world of pop culture, and are all inspirations to many for several reasons. And this was not a contest of what characters are fundamentally better, but simply who can punch harder. And Team Comics won the day. Now you may say I'm biased with how I made the matchups or the layout of this video, and if so, tell me in the comments. Even though technically, if it was a straight up 3v3, then Superman would just clean house before any of them could even perceive what's happening, but whatever. If you enjoy, then please give this video a like. That will tell me that I'm doing something right. And if you disagree, comment below how I'm a big stupid dummy. And if you want to help me decide what my video should be next time, maybe subscribe and hit that bell so you can see my next poll. And yeah, if this video gets 1,000 likes, then I will make my first vocal track for this matchup specifically. So yeah, that's all from me until my next vid, so deuces.